transits. Thursday, October 5th, 8:20 a.m. And the transit is still currently 48.3 and 21.3. However, in the next couple hours, we're about to move into the fourth line. So I'm going to go ahead and read those. Gate 48, the well, depth in the spleen, the necessary and qualitative foundation that is a prerequisite to establish common good. Line 4, restructuring, the good sense to take advantage of restriction on short-term activity to access the situation and restructure for long-term goals that will facilitate development when activity resumes. The awareness that depth and its possible expression will face restrictions with a resulting taste for short-term projects. Detriment, a resistance to restructuring on speculation with the tendency, when activity resumes, to have to do so anyway. A taste for long-term projects that will be frustrated in restraint. So this is basically illustrating the ability to break this long-term development up into more bite-sized tastes, right? More bite-sized moments projects, right? Long-term projects ultimately are a compilation of short-term projects. And what we're seeing here with this line is that there's going to, so I think pretty sure there's a juxtaposition. So it's fixed in exaltation and it's fixed in detriment. And if you'll see that in your neutrino app, where it has both the arrow going up and the arrow going down by that placement, means that instead of normally where it's going to fluctuate, a juxtaposition is where they're both present at the same time. So you're going to have the awareness and the depth and its possible expression that faces restriction, resulting in a taste for, you're going to develop a taste for short-term projects, but you'll still have a frustration in the restraint at the long-term projects, which makes a lot of sense from what I'm doing today, which will be forming. I just remember the moment when I realized I was going to be a dad. It was different from the time I was told about it 5 months. Yeah. There's like a delayed reaction, right? And I mean, applying this gate to being a father, right? There's obviously like the taste for being a long-term father, or the depth of being a father long-term, which sometimes my mind tries to be like dumb in the sense that it's like, oh, you won't be a father forever. And it's like, no, I'll be a father forever. It's a lot. And so, what I'm developing is, right, every moment that I get with my daughter, because I'm not with her all the time, but these are like, I do my best to be as present as I possibly can with her in this moment, because while for me in my adult life it might just be this moment in the script of the long stuff, it's really her entire life in that moment. Are you reading out of the I Ching? No, but I can, because Luke forgot to take his book and I found it. So yeah, let's read out of it. Okay, let's go. Gate 48. I know y'all like this I Ching. Gate 48. So again, something to, while I'm looking for this, something to be aware of, again, is where does this show up in your chart? And then the question to ask yourself is, where is this showing up in your life? This, restrictions that create a taste for short-term projects, and where does the frustration at the restraint of the long-term projects show up? And just be aware of that. You don't need to make any decisions. I would advise not to make any decisions because of that. But having the awareness of it can be so helpful, because you'll watch and you'll start to see other people in the they're fighting the transit, or they're blindly going along with it. So anyway, 48 I Ching, the well, the judgment, the well, the town may be changed, but the well cannot be changed. It neither decreases nor increases. They come and go, draw from the well. If one gets down almost to the water, and the rope does not go all the way, or the jug breaks, it brings misfortune. So in ancient China, the capital cities were sometimes moved, partially for the sake of more favorable location, partially because of the change in dynasties. The style of architecture changed in the course of centuries, but the shape of the well has remained the same from ancient times to this day. Thus, the well is a symbol of social structure which evolved by mankind in its meaning, its most primitive needs. It is independent of all political forms. Political structures change, as do nations, but the life of the man with its needs remains eternally the same. This cannot be changed. Life is also inexhaustible. It grows neither less nor more. It exists for one and for all. The generations come and go, and they all enjoy life, its inexhaustible abundance. So the image is water over wood, the image of the well. Thus, the superior man encourages the people at their work and exhorts them to help one another. 6 in the fourth place means the well is being lined, no blame. True. So this is the point 4 piece. True, if a well is being lined with stone, it cannot be used while the work is going on, but the work is not in vain. The result is that the water stays clear. In life, there is also times when a man must put himself in order during such a time when he can do nothing for others, but his work is nonetheless valuable, because by enhancing his powers and abilities through inner development, he can accomplish all the more later on. So again, this is about doing the work to reinforce the longer term work, right? And also, again, this is like transit energy. So you might feel that need to do work to reinforce the longer term work, but it may not actually be relevant to what you're doing or your strategy or authority, right? And that's why we're looking at the transits. That being said, with the strong influence today, it's helpful to see where that shows up in your life. Okay, where can I like reinforce some of my longer term projects with the shorter term project? Like I actually did this last night. I put together a it's not a landing page, it's just like collecting information, emails and stuff for the and actually I should post that here. So I'm going to post my link. So for anyone that's that didn't go right. But for anyone that is interested in doing this or doing the Live Your Design course with myself and Life Force, I created a landing page so we can directly reach you guys and just gather some information. So this is for the Live Your Design course. Ryan and I are going to be hosting something that comes directly from the International Human Design School, and something that Ryan is like, I'd love to host one here. And so he said this is like the last course that you take in terms of living your design, right? Like maybe you get a reading and then you do like you do some other readings in between, but this is the course that you take so that you no longer need to learn about human design from others. So this is basically going to teach you the foundations of human design in a way where it's like you'll be able to look at other people's charts and feel really confident in knowing like, oh, you have the defined head and this and this and that, and that's out of sync because of these exemplary stuff. So it's really cool. He's been showing me the slides and I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be awesome. So anyway, if you want to get on the email list for that, that is how you do it. It's not a checkout page, which it says it on there. It's just to gather like your emails and your information. Obviously, we'll be talking about it a lot here, but I figured why not throw it in here? So let's move on to gate 21, biting through the hunter-huntress. Line 4 is strategy, careful appraisal of opposing forces to establish a proper response. Success in action through clarity, the ego to succeed on the material plane, and the instinct to use will, power, effectively in response to conditions. Detriment is a tendency when in the right to misjudge the power of one's opponents, the drive when in the right to follow one's ego rather than one's instinct. Interesting. Instinct over ego. I love that word, instinct. Awesome, Mark. But really what we're looking at is the judging of an opponent, right? So it's like when you step up against an opponent, is there the it's called hubris, right? Is the to undervalue your opponent and ultimately get fucked up by him because you thought he was weak, but he actually ended up being really strong. So notice the tendency for people to undervalue each other's strengths, or notice the tendency and don't take it personally when someone undervalues your strength or your value, right? That's one big thing too, right? Because again, it's not just us that's experiencing the transits, it's everybody that's experiencing the transits. So when they fall into those pitfalls, it's like you don't blame a child who's crying for crying and being sad, especially if they don't have the you know tools and skills to regulate their own nervous system and their own emotional system. You don't punish them for not having this skill. You don't punish someone for ignorance. The ignorance in itself is a punishment, right? You don't take that personally either. You either look for an opportunity to educate, right? Follow your strategy authority. If there's an invitation to educate, I don't know what's going on. Can you help me? Invitation. If there's something to respond to, I just feel so frustrated and I don't want to be here anymore. Did I hear you say you don't want to be here anymore, this frustrated spot? Yeah, okay. Well, I recognize that, and this is where I've been, right? Because generators, like, you can do that. Manifestors just fucking tell them what time it is, and reflectors just watch them suffer. I'm kidding. Maybe help them out. Anyway, 21, the judgment. Fighting through has success. It is favorable to let justice be administered. The image is thunder and lightning, the image of biting through. Thus, the kings of the former times made firm the laws through clearly defined penalties. And in the fourth line, we have 9 in the fourth place means bites on dried gristly meat, receives metal arrows. It furthers one to be mindful of difficulties and be preserving good fortune. There are great obstacles to be overcome. Powerful opponents are to be punished. Though this is arduous, the efforts succeed, but it is necessary to be hard as metal and straight as an arrow to surmount the difficulties. If one knows these difficulties and remains persevering, his attack gains good fortune, or he attains good fortune. The difficult task is achieved in the end. So, that was interesting. Talking about actually punishing. So there's going to be that energy again of punishing, right? That's the thing that you don't want to take personally. Like if you feel like you're being punished by somebody, don't take that personally. It's probably transit. It's probably this 21 trying to like enforce the laws or bring justice through, right? Alternatively, if you're feeling like punishing somebody, check in with the strategy and authority, because sometimes punishment is just, right? Other times it's transitory bullshit. So big big nods towards the heart energy. Like I love when the heart energy is online. Just for me, it's so refreshing. Not that I don't have energy in my normal day-to-day life, but it's just awesome to have the heart energy on. I really appreciate it. So anyway, that's the transits, guys. I got to get going. I got a little farm day set up for myself. It'll be a pretty nice day. Get to wear my hat. Not this hat, but another hat. Oh, check this out though, y'all. Look, I got hats. Human design hats. Love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.